Hello, everyone. I am Mr.Dishwasher. In the previous episode, we discussed the Straw Hat Pirates landing in Wano country. Luffy was defeated by Kaido and became his prisoner. At the same time, significant events were unfolding around the world. Among them, Moria was surrounded by the Blackbeard pirates. Shiryu took Absalom's clear fruit. Moria is in dire straits, and there are concerns for his life. In Mary Geos, Sabo led the revolutionary army in a mission to free the enslaved Kuma. They clashed with the admirals Fujitora and Ryukyuji, and the battle was intense. Now, the whole world is caught in a massive whirlpool. In the future, only the strong will be able to stand firm in this turbulent sea. Back in Wano, Inuarashi and the others found Ashura Doji. However, Ashura Doji did not want to obey to Momonosuke's intentions. The weight of these past 20 years has been too heavy. He has lost all hope for the darkness that has gripped Wano. Thus, they parted ways without reaching an agreement. On the other hand, Luffy and Kid became the dual leaders of the prisoner mine in Udon. Kaido hopes to break their spirits through labor and bring these supernovas under his control. The leader of the prison is the All-Star known as Queen the Plague. Standing beside Queen is one of the three All-Stars, King the Conflagration. Meanwhile, Nami and the others are preparing for the Kinemon's plan. They not only need to convey messages to the samurai but also resolve the issue of weapons and sea transportation. At the same time, Luffy and Kid are working tirelessly in the mine, doing the work of hundreds of ordinary people. As a result, they not only have sufficient food but also defeated the deputy warden Shinichi, saving the elderly Hyogoro. Surprisingly, Caribou, who has changed for the better, is also in the prison, a strange twist of fate. As for Sanji, he is managing a ramen shop that is immensely popular among women. Here, he gave a thorough beating to a gang that came to cause trouble. He also met a cheerful girl, Toko, who always has a smiling face. Toko has worked tirelessly to afford Sanji's noodles. Seeing her joyful smile, everyone's hearts have become much brighter.
働いてお小遣い貯めてやっと買えたお蕎麦だったのにこぼれちゃって悲しかったでも嬉しい
そうかそんなにうめえか
Today marks the day when the renowned geisha Kamirasaki parades through the streets of the flower capital in Wano. Her beauty has captivated numerous men, leaving them enthralled. Toko, her faithful handmaiden, shares a strong bond with her. Together, they are headed to the shogun's residence to accompany Kurozumi Orochi, the shogun, during a banquet. At the same time, the talented courtesan, Robin, has also received an invitation and is eligible to attend Orochi's grand event. Currently, Orochi has just concluded a meeting with the CP0 members. Interestingly, due to the underworld broker, Doflamingo's failure, the world government had to directly contact Orochi to purchase weapons. It's ironic that the weapons used to combat pirates by the world government now come from pirates themselves. On the other side, Zoro, as usual, got lost and ended up separated from the group. During his wanderings, he encountered a cheerful man named Tonoyasu. Together, they arrived in Ebisu town, where laughter fills the air every moment. Tonoyasu explained, life is unpredictable. It would be a shame not to face it with a smile. Later, Zoro heard from the villagers about the benevolent thief Ushimitsu Kozo. Meanwhile, in the heart of the flower capital, Kurozumi Orochi was hosting an extravagant banquet. Joining him was his right-hand man, Kayashiro, the head of the Yakuza. In a brief moment during the festivities, Robin discreetly left her seat. She and her fellow infiltrators began searching Orochi's estate. Brook found the poneglyphs. However, Robin faced the formidable Oniwabanshu, the ninja guards. Thankfully, using her flower clone, she managed to escape. Back at the banquet, Orochi once again brought up the legend of the Kazuki clan's revenge. Toko couldn't help but laugh at his timid words, which infuriated Orochi. He intended to kill Toko in his rage. However, at this critical moment, Kamirasaki slapped Orochi in defense of Toko. She transformed from her usual graceful demeanor to one of resolute strength. Even when facing Orochi's formidable serpentine form, the Yamata no Orochi, Kamirasaki did not show a hint of fear. Immediately, Orochi retaliated, biting down on Kamirasaki, causing chaos to erupt in the banquet hall. Soon after, Robin, Brook, Nami, and the others appeared one by one. They planned to rescue Toko and Kamirasaki while engaging in a battle with the Oniwabanshu. However, in a display of loyalty to Orochi, Kayashiro mercilessly struck down the top courtesan, Kamirasaki. Upon seeing this, Nami, not holding back her power, summoned the thundercloud Zeus. one could witness massive and robust lightning striking the sky, enveloping the entire shogun's residence in a dazzling display of thunder. Seizing this opportunity, Nami and the others rescued Toko and swiftly fled. Meanwhile, the Yonko Big Mom were on the verge of arriving in Wano. Upon receiving this news, Kaido ordered his subordinates to launch an attack. However, they were taken aback by the terrifying strength of Big Mom, who effortlessly broke through the final line of defense. At this crucial moment, the Conflagration King took action and attacked Big Mom's ship. He possesses the power of the ancient Zoan, Pteranodon. Utilizing the cover of the waterfall, King kicked the pirate ship, sending Big Mom into a vortex, her fate uncertain. On the other side, due to Sanji's previous altercation with the Mafia, Kaido's formidable Tobarapo, Drake and Page 1, arrived to capture him. This Tobarapo group consists of the mightiest 6 warriors among Kaido's Shinuchis, including Page 1 and Drake. During the clash with Page 1, Sanji employed Germa's raid suit, which greatly enhanced his abilities, leading him to adopt the moniker Soba Mask. Empowered by the suit, Sanji's speed and defense significantly increased, and the suit even granted him invisibility, a power resembling his long-desired clear fruit. Subsequently, Sanji overwhelmingly dominated his battle with Page 1. But Page 1 possessed remarkable resilience, making a prolonged engagement unwise. Sanji chose to withdraw, not wanting to be entangled further. Meanwhile, in Kuri, Chopper, surprisingly, rescued Big Mom from drowning in a maritime mishap. Unexpectedly, Big Mom suffered from amnesia due to the incident. Chopper and his companions decided to care for her, referring to her as Madame Lin Lin. They planned to utilize Big Mom's power to rescue Luffy from the prisoner mine. They told Big Mom that the mine had delicious ashiruko, a sweet red bean soup. Encouraged by this, Big Mom accompanied Chopper, and they set off for the prisoner mine. At the same time, inside the prison, everyone discovered that Kid had escaped, leaving no trace. Meanwhile, Luffy repeatedly assisted the elderly Hyagoro, providing him with food vouchers in exchange for items. Luffy also fiercely confronted the prison guards who had mistreated Hyagoro. Indeed, Hyagoro was the leader of the Flower Capital's underworld 20 years ago. He was known for his loyalty and reputation, and he even refused the bribery of Kurozumi Orochi. As a result, Hyagoro found himself in prison, enduring harsh labor. Next, Queen arrived at the prisoner mine for an inspection. He apprehended both Luffy and Hyagoro, who were attempting to escape. Queen set up a sumo ring, intending to execute Luffy through a multi-person sumo match. To ensure fairness, Queen even removed Luffy's seastone handcuffs. Following this, Luffy faced off against skilled members of Kaido's crew. He recalled Rayleigh's mastery of Haki and aimed to improve his Haki level through this battle. This was crucial to have a chance at breaking through Kaido's invincible dragon scales. Meanwhile, Nami and Robin relaxed in the bathhouse, not expecting Drake and Hawkins to arrive with a group of men. They ordered the capture of individuals with crescent moon tattoos, and they discovered Nami. Before Nami's national treasure, no one could stand their ground. Even Sanji, who was secretly watching, couldn't resist showing himself. Afterward, Sanji led Nami, Robin, and the others to escape. Everyone was puzzled by how Hawkins knew about the crescent moon tattoo mark, and it seemed that even Kinemon's special code had been exposed to Orochi. Currently, many samurai were arrested by Orochi's subordinates, and the situation was far from optimistic. Simultaneously, Zoro encountered a weapons collector named Gyukamaru, who managed to steal Shusui, a national treasure, from him. Just then, Kamurasaki appeared with Toko, running from a relentless and constantly laughing masked assailant, Kamazo, an assassin sent by Orochi. Seeing this, Zoro engaged in a duel with Kamazo to protect Kamurasaki and Toko. Unexpectedly, Kamazo was incredibly powerful, and the battle between Zoro and Kamazo was fierce. Adding to the complication, Gyukamaru took advantage of the situation to sneakily attack Zoro. Despite this, Zoro lived up to his reputation as a swordsman. He clenched the blade with his muscles, preventing Kamazo from withdrawing the scythe. Zoro managed to seize the scythe and held it in his mouth. Three-sword style, ready to strike. Finally Zoro defeated Kamazo. However, he succumbed to his own injuries and collapsed. Later, Zoro was saved by Kamirasaki and Toko. Toko generously applied to Zoro the toad oil she purchased from Usopp. Kamirasaki also revealed her true identity as Hiyori, the younger sister of Momonosuke. She had been rescued by Kawamatsu of the 9 Red Scabbards and has been living under a new name since. Due to the frigid weather, the 3 of them shared a bed to keep warm, and it turned out to be quite a delightful and enjoyable time. Meanwhile, Luffy defeated numerous gifters in battle, yet he still struggled to grasp the advanced Busoshoku Haki. Hyogoro informed Luffy about a high-level Busoshoku Haki known in Wano as Flowing Cherry Blossom. He even demonstrated it personally, sharing the key techniques with Luffy. Thanks to Hyogoro's guidance, Luffy made remarkable progress in mastering Haki. In Ebisu Town, Nami and the others gathered together. They were deeply troubled by the leaked password. Suddenly, Tonoyasu entered the room. He recognized the secret code and offered his assistance. Tonoyasu happened to be the father of Toko, a fact he revealed to the group. Toko would send all the money she earned in the capital back to Tonoyasu. In turn, Tonoyasu would distribute the funds to help the villagers and improve their lives. That night, Tonoyasu did something astonishing. He voluntarily surrendered to the Oniwabanshu, claiming to be the infamous Ushimitsu Kozo. The Oniwabanshu discovered his true identity, causing a chain of events. As soon as Orochi learned of this, he promptly ordered Tonoyasu's execution. Orochi even spread the news through newspapers to amplify the event's impact. Soon after, Toko learned of her father's situation through a visit from Brook. She rushed outside, desperate to see her father. It was clear that Toko was filled with a profound mixture of fear and sorrow, yet her face still bore a strange smile.
どうしたんです？
処刑されちゃうんだよ、あたいのお父ちゃんが。
なんだと？花の都は今日もいい天気になりそうだ。
In reality, Tonoyasu's true name was Shimatsuki Yasui. He was formerly a daimyo in the Hakamai region of Wano, loyal to the Kazuki family. He shared a strong bond with Kazuki Oden and was highly respected among the people. During his time, he even led a resistance against Orochi, but Kaido's interference led to his defeat. Now, hearing about Yasui's impending execution, the people of Ebisu Town rushed to the flower capital, determined to rescue him, with the assistance of Usopp and others. Facing the specter of death, Yasui showed no fear. He declared he was not truly Ushimitsu Kozo, just seeking attention. He admitted to orchestrating the signals received by the samurai, all just a playful jest, mocking the seriousness with which Orochi treated it. He said the imprisoned samurai turned out to be ordinary civilians, not dangerous rebels. It turned out that Yasui had sacrificed himself to ensure the continuation of the Kinemon's plan and to make one final contribution to the Kazuki family. He criticized Orochi for ruining Wano's beauty and mocked him as a coward afraid of Oden. In response, Orochi, angered, ordered the execution on the spot. Countless bullets flew toward Yasui, painting his body with splashes of blood. In his final moments, he thought of his memory with Oden, the respect from the 9 Red Scabbards and the people. Yasui accepted his fate without regret, except for the sorrow he felt for his daughter.
そうかそうか。どれ、父ちゃんが肩車してやろう。よいしょっと。許せ、男。お前を残してゆく父よ。お父ちゃん、お父ちゃん、お父ちゃん、お父ちゃん。
Ultimately, Yasui met his demise amidst a hail of bullets, leaving the execution scene in deep mourning. However, a strange occurrence took place, as everyone's faces displayed a strange smile. Actually, the reason for all these strange phenomena is due to Kaido and the Orochi. Several years ago, they began large-scale procurement of smile fruits, with only a 10% success rate. The failed products robbed the consumers of all expressions except laughter. What's more extreme is that, to prevent commoners from expressing anger and sadness, the Orochi mixed the failed smile fruits into the food of the Ebisu villagers. Unaware individuals saw it as a gift, but it marked the true beginning of the tragedy. Thus, behind these seemingly happy smiles, lies the deepest darkness of this nation. At this moment, Toko risked her life to enter the execution ground. She brought toad oil purchased from Usopp, hoping to heal her father's wounds.
あたい、いい薬持ってるから。お父ちゃん、生き返って。この薬で傷が治るよ。もう大丈夫だよ。
However, this was just Usopp's deception, utterly powerless to change the outcome. Suddenly, seeing Toko, the Orochi became furious. He immediately took up his gun and shot at her. Just in time, two figures arrived swiftly, blocking the bullets. They were none other than Zoro and Sanji. Following that, the Straw Hat crew created a commotion in the flower capital. While they couldn't kill the arrogant Kurozumi Orochi, Tonoyasu's body and other villagers, including Toko, were rescued from perilous situations. Meanwhile, the prisoner mine welcomed two new inmates. One of them was the assassin, Kamazo, while the other was Kid, who managed to escape but back into prison midway. It turns out Kamazo's true identity is the supernova killer. He was forced to consume a failed smile fruit in order to save his captain, and took on the identity of Kamazo, following the orders of Kurozumi Orochi. Just then, Big Mom and Chopper, among others, suddenly stormed the prison. Tempted by Ashiruko, Big Mom kept causing destruction. Seeing this, Queen became extremely angry. To protect his Ashiruko, he transformed into his Brachiosaurus form and battled Big Mom. The clash between these two heavyweight fighters was over in an instant. With just one punch, Big Mom overpowered Queen. In the face of Big Mom's power, the entire prisoner mine descended into chaos. In reality, the reason Big Mom desires Ashiruko is to allow the residents of Okabor town to savor this delicacy. However, last night, Luffy secretly devoured all the Ashiruko in the prison. As a result, Big Mom turned her wrath towards Luffy, exuding an imposing presence akin to a mountain's weight. In this dire moment, Luffy successfully comprehended the flowing cherry blossom technique. He shattered the collar around his neck, and led Big Mom in a circuit within the prison. After a long while, Queen regained consciousness from his stupor. He devised a trap to lure Big Mom, using a technique head crash from the sky. The immense impact surprisingly triggered Big Mom's recovery of her past memories, causing her to collapse to the ground. Immediately, Queen hastened to securely bind Big Mom and personally escorted her to Onigashima, where Kaido resided. Simultaneously, due to the chaos caused by Big Mom, Reizo took the opportunity to join forces with Caribou, severing communication between the prison and the outside world. Meanwhile, Luffy continued to engage in combat with the jailers, honing his skills in the flowing cherry blossom technique. Kawamatsu also received aid and managed to escape from the death cell. Inspired by the encouragement of their fellow inmates, the prisoners rekindled their determination to resist Kaido's rule. Collectively, they decided to break free from the prisoner mine and overthrow Kaido's dominion. In this manner, the Udon prison was successfully subdued. Tama, using her millet dango, tamed a substantial number of Zoan-type jailers. Among those whom Luffy managed to rescue were Kid and Killer. Kinemon encountered Ashura Doji in a graveyard. Countless warriors who had stood against Kaido 10 years prior were buried there. At that time, Ashura, who had eagerly awaited the return of the Kazuki, bore witness to many tragedies, leading him to resort to banditry. However, now, due to Tonoyasu's death, Ashura once again saw a glimmer of hope. He resolved to join forces with Momonosuke and the 9 Red Scabbards to overthrow Kaido. In this manner, the 9 Red Scabbards had gathered 8 members, with only Denjiro remaining to be reunited. Ashura also acquired the map of Onigashima and numerous ships, sufficient to transport thousands of troops. On the other side, Hawkins secretly met with Law. He used the lives of Law's crew as leverage and successfully captured Law. However, a mysterious individual covertly set Law free. Law, while in prison, defeated Hawkins and learned about the Kid Alliance's past. At that moment, Kaido descended from the sky, confronting the Kid Alliance. To everyone's surprise, Apu turned out to be Kaido's undercover agent and immediately betrayed them. Consequently, Hawkins surrendered to Kaido, while Kid and Killer were defeated and captured. Meanwhile, Zoro, accompanied by Hiyori, found Gyukimaru. They were joined by Kawamatsu, one of the 9 Red Scabbards. It turned out that Gyukimaru was a fox from the Shimatsuki family, serving under Shimatsuki Ashimaru, who is known as Daimyo of Ringo. In Ringo, people consider swords as symbols of the soul, placing them on graves. Gyukimaru and Kawamatsu once guarded these grave swords with the intention of overthrowing Kaido. Now, Gyukimaru has fulfilled this mission and led everyone to the hidden weapons. the forces to overthrow Kaido are no longer defenseless. Furthermore, to bring Shushuei back to Wano, Hiyori exchanged it with Zoro, using the famous sword Enma, that once wounded Kaido, a blade owned by Kazuki Oden. Oden had given both two swords to the two children, with Momonosuke inheriting Aim no Habakiri and Hiyori inheriting Enma. At Onigashima, Kaido and Big Mom had their official meeting. They began with a fierce sword clash, the force of which tore through the sky. Then, they shook hands, made peace, and celebrated with a drink, forming an alliance.
我々110海賊団と
ビッグマム海賊団は
海賊同盟を
結ぶことに
スタート！
協力し世界を取ってからでもいいよな。
殺し合いの続きはよ。
On the Kinemon side, they modified the secret signal as per Tonoyasu's instructions. The original snake signal hinted at gathering at Habu Port, but the revised lizard signal indicates a change to Magura Port as the assembly point. This way, they can evade Kurozumi Orochi's watchful eyes and set sail smoothly. With the fire festival approaching, time is short, and everyone is preparing for the final battle. Among them, Zoro is taming the formidable sword Enma, which possesses terrifying power, capable of cutting through coastlines with a single stroke, but it requires a significant amount of a swordsman's essence, truly deserving its status as a top-tier demonic blade. In fact, if a swordsman continuously envelopes the sword with haki, it can be elevated to the supreme grade. Therefore, Zoro is determined to have all his swords listed as supreme grade. Meanwhile, Luffy is diligently practicing haki at the prisoner mine, making rapid progress. Momonosuke led the 9 red scabbards and proceeded to the rendezvous point. The large army that was assembled was now poised for the decisive battle against Kaido, with the conflict imminent. However, for some reason, Kurozumi Orochi was aware of the new signal. He swiftly prepared his forces to counter any resistance from the uprising. Nevertheless, challenges will be met with resistance, and obstacles will be overcome. Luffy and his companions will not retreat at this point. The storms of the future are bound to be even fiercer. With this, Act 2 of Wano concludes.
見てろカイドウ。
その陰で世界の運命をも揺るがす戦が始まる。